breathe out.
Choi wowed the judges with his moves, but Britain's Got Talent didn't show you what really got him there. From the battles he faced off stage to the journey that almost didn't happen, here's what BGT left out about Choi. Choi's appearance on Britain's Got Talent introduced audiences to a magician whose performances transcended mere tricks, offering a blend of artistry and enigma. His audition left both the judges and viewers in awe, sparking widespread intrigue. However, beyond the mesmerizing acts showcased on television, there lies a narrative rich with experiences and challenges that BGT didn't fully unveil. This exploration seeks to shed light on the lesser-known facets of Choi's journey, providing a comprehensive understanding of the magician behind the magic hailing. From the vibrant and culturally rich country of South Korea, Choi's journey into the world of magic began long before he ever stepped onto a global stage. As a child, Eden was enchanted not just by tricks or sleights of hand, but by the sheer wonder and emotional power that magic could evoke in an audience. He grew up watching magicians both on television and in person, often trying to recreate their illusions using household objects. This early fascination with the mysterious art form gradually transformed into an all-consuming passion. By the time he was a teenager, Eden was no longer simply mimicking tricks. He was inventing his own. He delved deep into the technical aspects of illusion, practicing relentlessly in his bedroom late into the night. From studying the history of magic in Eastern traditions to adapting Western sleight-of-hand techniques, Eden cultivated a truly unique style that would later set him apart from his contemporaries. What makes Eden's story particularly compelling is the way his cultural heritage informs his craft. South Korea is a nation where technology and tradition intertwine, and Eden's magic reflects that same harmony. He doesn't just perform illusions, he tells stories, often silent ones, infused with a deep emotional undercurrent. The fluidity of his movements, the deliberate pacing, and the emphasis on visual poetry suggest influences ranging from classical Korean dance to cinematic storytelling. Eden understands that magic isn't merely about fooling the eyes, it's about moving the heart. As he matured, his dedication only grew stronger, transforming his childhood fascination into a disciplined and professional pursuit. By the age of 24, Eden was already traveling internationally, performing at magic conventions, theaters, and festivals around the world. He wasn't just a performer, he was becoming an ambassador of a form of magic that bridges cultures and generations. His fluency in both the language of illusion and the unspoken language of emotion allowed him to connect with audiences regardless of age, nationality, or background. In many ways, Eden's rise reflects the very essence of art as a universal language, capable of breaking barriers, sparking wonder, and creating moments of genuine human connection. His background isn't just context, it's the very soul of his performance. And it's that rich tapestry of experiences, rooted in culture, passion, and persistence, that makes Choi not just a magician, but a storyteller in the truest sense. As Choi continued to dazzle audiences around the world, there was a pivotal moment in his career that would change everything. Something that not only challenged his craft, but also pushed him to the very edge of his artistic limits. What would this new chapter mean for a magician whose illusions had already broken the mold? And what unseen forces were quietly working behind the scenes, shaping his destiny in ways even he couldn't have predicted? Long before Choi left audiences and judges speechless on Britain's Got Talent, he took a courageous leap into another global spotlight, America's Got Talent. It was the 18th season in 2023, and Eden, fresh off years of honing his craft across Asia and Europe, was ready to show the American audience what he was capable of. The AGT stage, known for making global stars out of unknown performers, seemed like the perfect platform for Eden to debut his unique blend of Eastern elegance and Western illusion. And by all internal accounts and eyewitnesses who saw the live performance, Eden delivered an act that was as spellbinding and emotionally evocative as the one he would later bring to the UK. But despite his compelling performance, something unexpected happened. Eden's audition was never aired. It never made it to broadcast. No clips, no mentions, no promotional footage. For many artists, this kind of erasure can be crushing. After all, the exposure AGT offers is career-changing, and having that opportunity silently slip through the cracks without explanation is enough to shake anyone's confidence. But Choi wasn't just any performer. He viewed this moment not as a failure, but as a turning point. Rather than retreating or giving up, he chose to use the experience as fuel for his next big move. Behind the scenes, the reasons for an unaired audition can vary. Too many contestants, editorial direction, or timing constraints. But for Eden, it served as a powerful lesson about the volatility of the entertainment industry. Talent alone isn't always enough. Timing, luck, and visibility play major roles. It was a reminder that even extraordinary artists can get overlooked when decisions are made in editing rooms. But what made Eden different was his resilience. He didn't allow rejection, or worse, invisibility to define him. Instead, he began looking for new ways to reach people who would appreciate not only his technique, but the emotional core of his artistry. The AGT experience might not have given Eden the spotlight he deserved, but it gave him something even more valuable. It pushed him to continue refining his act, to seek out stages where his voice could be truly heard, and to keep believing in the magic he carried within. That determination eventually led him to the Britain's Got Talent stage, where his act would not only be televised but celebrated. And in doing so, Eden Choi turned what could have been a quiet failure into a powerful prelude to international recognition. As Eden's story was about to unfold in front of millions, little did he know that his journey to the Britain's Got Talent stage would soon be marred by a shocking twist. A twist that would challenge everything he believed about the industry's perception of talent. But could this moment of triumph be the beginning of an even greater trial? Eden Choi's audition on Britain's Got Talent wasn't just a display of magic tricks. It was a carefully orchestrated visual and emotional spectacle that transcended traditional illusion. The performance began with a striking and almost poetic image, an apple levitating mid-air. This wasn't just a technical feat. It immediately shifted the mood in the theater, creating a sense of quiet awe. It set the tone, signaling to the judges and the audience that what they were about to witness would not be a typical sleight-of-hand routine. Then, in an act that blurred the line between science fiction and sorcery, steam began to emit from the floating apple. As the mist swirled in the spotlight, Eden reached in and, seemingly from thin air, pulled out a playing card. This moment had all the hallmarks of cinematic magic, and it was executed with such smooth precision that disbelief gave way to pure wonder. But that was only the beginning. Without missing a beat, Eden transitioned into the second phase of his act, effortlessly producing a series of brightly colored balls that appeared and disappeared at will. He didn't just manipulate the objects with skill, he made them dance. Each motion, each flick of the wrist was calculated but graceful, more akin to choreography than illusion. His hands moved like a conductor leading an orchestra of impossibility. The performance became a sensory experience, enhanced by ambient music and dramatic lighting that elevated the magic to something bordering on performance art. Then came the grand finale, an endless cascade of playing cards. One after another, the cards flew from his hands like a waterfall, seemingly conjured out of nowhere. This classic flourish, when done by most magicians, serves as a flashy end note. But Eden gave it emotional weight. There was a rhythm to the release, a build-up, and a climax, as if the cards were not just props but metaphors. Some viewers interpreted this cascade as a symbol of Eden's own unleashing of potential, finally letting the world see the full extent of his craft. By the time the last card dropped to the stage, jaws were hanging open. What made this audition special wasn't just the difficulty of the tricks, although those were substantial. It was the storytelling embedded in every gesture. Each phase of his act flowed into the next with an emotional logic that drew viewers in deeper. Eden Choi didn't just perform magic. He told a story through illusion, a story of mystery, control, art, and wonder. Every element, from the steam to the lighting to the staging, was deliberate. It wasn't a magic show, it was magic theater, and the audience, judges, and millions watching online knew they had witnessed something truly rare. The reaction to Eden Choi's audition was nothing short of electric. In a show filled with standout talents, his performance carved out a moment that felt both historic and unforgettable. The theater buzzed with a kind of stunned silence as his final card fluttered to the floor, followed by an eruption of applause that seemed to come from every corner of the venue. Audience members leapt to their feet, some with their hands over their mouths in disbelief, others clapping wildly, trying to process what they had just seen. It was the kind of visceral reaction that producers dream of capturing, a blend of confusion, awe, and uncontainable joy.
For many in the crowd, it felt less like watching a performance and more like witnessing a revelation. The judges, known for their tough critiques and cautious praise, were unanimous in their admiration. Alicia Dixon, visibly taken aback, was among the first to speak. "You are an incredible, incredible showman," she said, her voice tinged with both admiration and genuine wonder. Amanda Holden echoed this sentiment, noting how Eden's performance felt otherworldly, and emphasized that his act was unlike anything the panel had seen before. Even Simon Cowell, who often reserves his praise for the most extraordinary talents, leaned forward in his seat and remarked on the uniqueness of Eden's execution and charisma. He didn't just compliment the tricks, he acknowledged the artistry. The atmosphere backstage, according to audience reports and press leaks, was equally charged. Fellow contestants were seen watching Eden's performance on backstage monitor with expressions ranging from admiration to disbelief. Some even reportedly commented that Eden had just changed the game for magicians on the show. Online, the reaction exploded. Within minutes of the audition airing, social media platforms lit up with hashtags like #EdenChoi and Magic on BGT, with users worldwide expressing astonishment and curiosity. Clips of the performance began circulating, and fans from different countries, cultures, and age groups engaged in animated discussions, some trying to analyze the tricks, others simply expressing joy and appreciation. What truly set Eden apart, though, wasn't just his technical skill. It was the universal nature of the emotions he evoked. In a divided world, magic like Eden's reminded viewers of a shared human experience, the desire to believe in the impossible, even if just for a few minutes. He didn't just impress the audience, and that kind of reaction is rarer than any golden buzzer. In the aftermath of Eden Choi's stunning audition on Britain's Got Talent, fans, illusionists, and curious minds across the internet plunged into an intense discussion, attempting to demystify the secrets behind his spellbinding performance. His routine didn't just leave people entertained, it sparked a kind of collective obsession to decode how exactly he did it. Forums, reaction videos, and social media platforms lit up with speculation, theories, and frame-by-frame breakdowns of his act. Some viewers proposed that Eden must have employed highly sophisticated sleight-of-hand techniques, ones so seamless they flew under the radar even when slowed down and replayed. Others theorized that his routine relied on cleverly designed props or concealed mechanisms, possibly embedded in his clothing, stage setup, or even the apple he used during his trick. One particularly popular theory revolved around the apple producing steam, something rarely, if ever, seen in a typical magic routine. Viewers speculated whether this was real vapor, dry ice, or part of a more elaborate trick designed to hide the moment a playing card was introduced into the illusion. Others claimed to spot subtle body movements or sleights that might have hinted at a card switch or secret palm, but even those observations were speculative at best. A few fans went further down the rabbit hole, suggesting Eden was using hidden magnets or finely engineered tech built into the stage or the props, blending classic stage magic with futuristic innovation. His act was so flawlessly executed that even seasoned magicians on YouTube had difficulty identifying the methods behind each illusion, which only added to the mystery and the legend of the performance. The wave of speculation wasn't just about trying to catch Eden or debunk the act. It became a testament to the enduring allure of magic itself. Audiences weren't simply baffled, and the curiosity he sparked tapped into something much deeper than momentary amazement. Magic, at its best, is a mirror for wonder, and Eden's performance reminded viewers of what it feels like to truly suspend disbelief. It reignited long-dormant conversations around the art of illusion and performance, drawing in skeptics, magic enthusiasts, and everyday fans alike. The dialogue became communal. People weren't just trying to solve a puzzle. They were bonding over their shared awe, excitement, and confusion. Eden Choi didn't just perform a magic trick. He crafted a moment that lived beyond the stage, one that blurred the lines between reality and illusion, and left the world talking, theorizing, and most importantly, believing in magic again.
Despite the widespread acclaim and overwhelming praise that Eden Choi received for his astonishing audition, he did not walk away with the coveted golden buzzer, an outcome that left many fans scratching their heads and venting their frustration online. For a performer who had the judges captivated and the audience erupting in applause, it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Eden would secure one of the show's highest honors. Instead, the golden buzzer was awarded by Alicia Dixon to children's support worker Linda Mudzenda for her deeply emotional rendition of You Say, a performance that touched hearts and spoke to personal resilience. While there's no denying that Linda delivered a stirring and meaningful vocal performance, Eden's act brought something entirely different to the table. a kind of visual poetry and technical wizardry that few acts in BGT history have matched. His combination of storytelling, illusion, and visual spectacle had fans calling it one of the most original magic performances the show had seen in years. The decision not to award Eden the Golden Buzzer triggered a wave of commentary on social media, with many viewers expressing disbelief and even accusing the show of bias or favoritism. Hashtags like #Justice for Eden and #Golden Buzzer Snub began trending in certain online spaces. Fans questioned whether the judges were giving more weight to emotional backstories than to the skill and uniqueness of the acts themselves. Others speculated that because Eden's performance was so visually complex and required intense concentration, it may not have emotionally landed in the same way as a tear-jerking vocal performance would for the judges. Still, for many viewers, Eden's act was the kind of show-stopping moment the Golden Buzzer was invented for. A performer who didn't just entertain but transported the audience into another world. This controversy illuminated not only the subjective nature of the judging process on talent shows like Britain's Got Talent, but also the emotional investment of the audience, who often feel just as much a part of the journey as the contestants themselves. The debate around Eden's snub raised broader questions about how talent is defined and rewarded on such a high-profile platform. Is it purely about technical skill, emotional resonance, public relatability? The answer seems to lie somewhere in the murky middle, where personal preferences, storytelling arcs, and production goals all intertwine. It also highlighted the impossible position judges are sometimes placed in, having to choose between multiple deserving acts, each excelling in entirely different artistic domains. In the end, Eden Choi's lack of a golden buzzer may not reflect a lack of talent, but rather the limitations of a system trying to compare apples and oranges. Still, if the public outcry is any indication, Eden didn't need a buzzer to make a lasting impression. His magic spoke for itself, and its echoes will be felt long after this season ends. Eden Choi's journey on Britain's Got Talent offers far more than just a dazzling peek into the world of modern magic. It tells a much deeper, more human story of resilience, cultural fusion, and the relentless pursuit of one's calling. While the audience only gets to see a carefully edited slice of his artistry on television, what lies beyond the televised illusion is a lifetime of dedication, practice, self-discovery, and sacrifice. Eden's appearance on BGT is the culmination of years of unseen effort, countless hours spent perfecting sleight-of-hand techniques, and a willingness to push creative boundaries to find his own voice in a field saturated with illusionists. Coming from South Korea, Eden not only brought with him a unique cultural aesthetic, but also a sense of discipline and focus that is often embedded in Korean artistic training. His performance wasn't just about trickery, it was about storytelling, about transforming everyday objects like apples and playing cards into tools of emotion, wonder, and meaning. It's easy to assume that magic is all about deception, but Eden turns that assumption on its head. His magic isn't about fooling people, it's about inviting them to believe in something beautiful, even if just for a moment. And believing, especially in a world that so often runs on cynicism, is a radical act. Eden's journey also represents the immigrant artist's path, navigating unfamiliar cultural terrains, often being overlooked, as was the case with his untelevised audition on America's Got Talent, and still rising again to pursue a dream on a new stage. It's a reminder of how success is rarely linear and how perseverance can often be the greatest magic trick of all. His courage to stand before an international audience, knowing the pressures of live performance and the scrutiny of social media, is commendable. Eden didn't just perform magic, he created a space where wonder could live again, even if only briefly.